Hello, this is Ben, and today we're going to respond to a video from Bill Nye that's posted on Big Think about abortion, and I'll have somewhere up here a way for you to watch that video. But Bill Nye is being a trickster. I guess I'll call this video something like Bill Nye's tricking you on abortion or something. um, so let's look through what he said in reverse. He said, European white males are oppressing women by not allowing them to have abortions, and their reason for doing so is based on a misinterpretation of a book. He wouldn't say the Bible, but he means the Bible. And the and they really don't have a respect for or an understanding of science. And science shows why there's no reason to oppose a woman's right to choose whether or not she wants to have an abortion. That is wrong on pretty much every level. So he thank you to the viewer who sent me this video. This was a request, but cool stuff. So first of all, this has nothing to do with feminism or misogyny. It could, but because we're talking about abortion, it's just as possible that the child, if it is a baby in the womb, is a female. And if the child is a female, then she has women's rights too. So, at least in all of those cases, the point is this a baby or not? Women's rights really women are not going to have the right to kill babies, even if it's inside their womb. I understand that it's a big responsibility, and I'm sure I don't really understand how big that responsibility is to carry a baby. But what I do understand is killing babies is evil. It doesn't matter how that baby came into being, it's evil. That should be not a hard question. And if someone's struggling with that question, then we have some seriously messed up people out there. So there's that. Now, he said it was based on a misinterpretation of the Bible. He wouldn't say the Bible. The Bible doesn't say that you can't have abortions. That's not in the Bible. People try to find verses about it in the Bible, like, before you were formed in the womb, God knew you. Well, that means before you were even conception, or something like that. And there's no verse in the Bible that defines when abortion is legal or anything. But what the Bible does say is that there's more to you and me than just the physical. In other words, you can't just inject people with peace of mind and hatred and love and those things. They're not just a chemical reaction in your brain. That there's more to you than the physical. Now, I've got a video called Atheism Destroys Science, and I'll link to you for that in the description, I guess. But that is a defense of this idea that there's a soul or a spirit or something more to you. Now, from the Christian perspective, that is the real you. When you die, your body is not working anymore, but there's something more to you that's gone. And from a scientific perspective, as Christians, we're just looking for, when did the new human life begin? When did an individual human life actually start to exist? And, well, at conception, that is a life form separate from the mother and the father that's human. It's developing. And so this non-tangible, non-physical thing that you can't measure, weigh, taste, smell, or touch, but also you can't kill the body of, because that would be murder. We assume it probably enters then. That's, because if we assume wrong, then we're killing babies. His final point was that, he said, science shows why it's pointless to ban abortion. And what he said was, you don't realize that all the time, a lot of the time, fertilized eggs don't attach themselves to the uterine wall and then they pass out. It happens all the time. All the time is a very ambiguous statement. What he means, he won't say the word miscarriage, because then you'll have an idea about how often that happens and what that's like for the mother and the father. He's describing a miscarriage. Yeah, miscarriages happen. they're not murder unless they're intentional. I don't think legally we, in our country, we, you know, consider anyone a murderer for causing a miscarriage. Although, if it's caused by someone like in a car accident, I think that's murder. Um, but I mean, we don't consider abortion intentional miscarriage murder. I mean, in other words, an abortion is just an intentional miscarriage, just where the embryo is not carried correctly. It's a very sad thing. There's a family in my church that has like a, if I remember right, the lady had a miscarriage and they had a stained glass window dedicated with the name of the little girl. They consider it a very big deal, but they're not. You know, he said, "Well, you're going to prosecute every mother in the world who ever had a miscarriage." He didn't say it like that, because if he said the word miscarriage, then you would have a number in your mind about how often that happens. He wanted to leave that ambiguous, so you think it just happens all the time. It doesn't, and it is a big deal. But yeah, we don't prosecute them because it's not intentional. I mean, if we can show there's some form of neglect, and we do consider fetuses babies, then yeah, we should, prosecute. But in our nation, we don't even consider intentional abortion illegal. So yeah, that's what Bill Nye was saying, and it's not very well thought out, Bill. I hate to be rude and mean, but removing confusion is what I do. So, thank you for your time.